So, as you can see from the title of the video, I want to talk specifically about the CPT Tour, and two channels I would say that inspired me would have to be from Button Check and TVFGC. You guys can go check out the videos. This Capcom Pro Tour needs a major overhaul. Here's why. And the same, I'll bring up too with the whole Daigo thing. But the main thing I want to get at is obviously I actually agree as someone who actually used to compete for CPT Tour. But the problem is like there's a lot of issues, right? I mentioned it in the vibecast. Go feel free to check that out. And in there, I specifically talk about. Oh my god, I did not show the right screen. Give me a second. I'm an idiot. There you go. Much better. Or even better. There you go. There, right here. Right there. Check that out 7 days ago. TVFGC. Like this. But we'll get rid of them because they are taking a shit ton of space. So also, here's the link for the song right there. But as I was trying to get at is the fact that CPT isn't doing so hot. I mentioned in the vibecast before that I feel the problem is it doesn't appeal enough. I mean, the bottom line is that you have to sell a certain amount of copies to really even have the big demographic. And number one, Street Fighter 6 is for as good as it did, including with the World Tour, it did not make Black Ops 2 numbers how I thought it should have. So that's the first problem, right? And there's even, I think they made a recent video talking about that sales for fighting games aren't where they should be, and I agree with that, absolutely. I think they take too long to get what they're at, but the core of that problem is just that people don't have money. You know, because Tekken 7 and SF5 sold 8 million copies, which isn't bad, but the problem is it took them a while. It wasn't a day one, 8 million copies. Whereas Dragon Ball, on the other hand, literally basically made that much in a single day. And that's the core problem. Like, there shouldn't be a long wind-up or people waiting for it. They should be able to buy it right now, or people are that impatient that they would want to buy it right now. But that's not the case, right? I think that's number one issue that we need to get at the bat that can't be helped to a degree, and it's more on actually them. Now, the second problem is a lot of the way they're doing it. I think something they bring up really well, I think, is the fact that they're online. Like, look, don't get me wrong, sure, Roblox this and great and everything, but I've explained before that online should never truly be the standard for several reasons. And the core problem is that just the internet is just not great, and it's not universal for everybody. It inherently will fuck up more some people. I mean, it's a great opportunity for some. I think especially for like trying to play or rank up, maybe a handful of fun events here and there, but there's a reason offline tournaments are just the standard. It's a talk conversation. And then the other thing is they're just not as hype. That is something that I believe it was TBH that was talking about, and I 100% agree with that sentiment. Ignore the fact that you don't take online players as serious. Like, you definitely can. It wouldn't take, like, if they're good online, they can adjust offline. That's not a big deal. You know, maybe some can be fakes. I think that is definitely a case with online more than offline. But it's just not hype. There's not people there, the environment, you don't get to see it, and it's just something that's very sterile about online tournaments, and it's just not as entertaining. And Japan actually knows this, and gets a little bit more into the third reason is like no one really cares. No one really has a reason to care about the pros. Some of these people are definitely getting a bit older. People are getting left behind. People have left. Crazy things. Some people pass away. You know, rest in peace. But we need new blood to kind of take in the place for a lot of these old slots. Or we need also, again, more content. And Japan has been killing it, both from the content creators, Street Fighter League. Again, you see in TVFGC, it said, oh, you know, fucking something. I forgot what it was. But their Street Fighter League is way better. Hands down. Street Fighter League is the most entertaining thing to come out in official capacity from Street Fighter. Nothing else has come close besides, I would say, the VTuber tournaments. And again, go check out the vibecast. I think I'll try to link below, where I really went off on this. And I think the biggest reason why MLG as well is suffering. Like, no one really cares about pros anymore. The best example to put it is if I'm not the most famous gamer of all time, and you can look at the name, but somehow PewDiePie is the most famous gamer of all time, like even bigger than Daigo, then clearly we not only have a problem, but we see where people lean towards. And I advocate that we need to push more things for like casual. And I mean, it's weird because it's a thing we critique Street Fighter League America for doing. But the reason why I think that's more valid in there is because that's meant to showcase some of the best in a specific league for that. And same with CPT. I think maybe Street Fighter League could be a nice in-between. But if anything, we need like a Street Fighter League intermediate. Like I said, we need a whole course and everything I talked about in the vibecast. But I think that's one of the core problems. I mean, I guess there's 4 problems. But yeah, it's like, just no one really cares. You know, you don't have a reason to care. Then we need other personalities. But for CPT Tour, I don't think that's as important, but we need to get people to get to that status. We need to build up to CPT Tour, right? Because some people might not be able to understand or watch, especially with SF6. I think it's more complicated. I think more people tuned in and cared for SF5 than 4. The only people who seem to care now is because they've been invested in their audience, but I think less people are interested in hopping in. If anything, they're more interested in the offline, which is good. But to me, here's the real #1 issue why CPT Tour just absolutely fails besides its shitty online circuit It's input issues. I don't like that everyone keeps ignoring this problem, because it's something we had in 5 and we were a lot louder about it. It's the reason why I lost a chance to qualify for CPT. And every time I bring it up in the comments, no one denies it. They're like, you know what, that is a problem. It's just a part of the enjoyment. Same with the balancing. It's like, as a competitor, and if you care, the minority of the people who already are watching CPT regardless, how can we watch knowing, oh man, that's the reason Tokido lost, because the game's being fucking stupid? Like, that's why I personally don't care. Like, if I can't even get invested because I know the game just fundamentally doesn't work. It's just not interesting. It just really isn't. Like, how can you sit here and enjoy? And you see this, and actually in other sports, like people will bitch and actually not watch something because they genuinely do not like the way the direction the game is headed. And sadly, I think the bigger problem is just that esports is just really fucking young, and people do not realize how young it is that we have, this kind of issue. But yeah, I just feel like, also, I guess part of it's the marketing. The number one thing for anything is marketing, so it's like a sixth problem, really. But yeah, this is something I wanted to get off about. That, and I have no intention on watching the CPT Tour, because at the end of the day, Capcom, they haven't been making their fans happy either, so don't get started on the fact that they don't do costumes. I mean, I like that they've been really catering towards the casual. Like, I'll say this, I think it's the lesser of evils. Because, again, I mentioned at the beginning, core issue is money. Like, people just can't even travel. I can't even travel if I wanted to. Who knows? There are people who probably can't even don't. People might be thinking, oh, maybe they just don't want to pay for the internet. Shit's too expensive. Goddamn, out here paying 105 just because I'm late. No late fees and shit. But hey, what can you do? Yeah, that's all I can say. Nothing too crazy. I mean, you guys tell me why you personally aren't that invested into the CPT Tour, and tell me how pretty much nail on the hammer I am. I feel like legacy events. I mean, like I said, the thing too is like I said, marketing is like, how do you really showcase the CPT, or my bad, not CPT, yeah, CPT Tour, and yeah, no one just watch. And again, someone said that no one watches these tournaments. Sadly, they just don't care. But yeah, that's all I got to say. Feel free to let me know what you think. Booga booga Obama and cross tag.